Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast, the Project Investigation Collaboration, the collaboratory podcast, I can't talk this morning, between the Veritas Project and Investigator Todd, and as always, our gracious host, founder of the Veritas Project, Robert Curtis.
Hello.
And Investigator Todd, myself, Todd Boyer, and welcome to the Random Rabbit Hole podcast.
Yeah.
We don't have a specific topic that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
We are just going to rabbit hole and be all over the place and kind of give updates on things that we've talked about and we've actually seen new things about.
Right.
So let's start off with the one that you sent me.
Yeah.
You sent me a video, so I'll explain what you sent me, and then you can talk all about it in the person and all that stuff.
Right.
All right. So Bob sent me a video, and we had talked about on our Pyramid podcast about how they were using LiDAR and finding new rooms and all that kind of stuff. Well, they did another satellite sweep.
Yeah.
This time, they found at one of the other pyramids, they didn't actually scan the pyramid, they scanned the area around the pyramid.
Right.
And they found a labyrinth with 3,000 rooms.
Yeah.
Under the ground. So eventually somebody's going to have to go in there and
excavate it.
And excavate the whole thing.
Somehow.
So, yep. But go ahead and...
Yeah, it's a brand new satellite that has an advanced form of LiDAR that uses structured... it uses a different kind of program than the old LiDAR did, and it can actually see deeper into structures. So the way it was set up was that it can see through sand, and it only gives the image of like granite and dense rock. So they wanted to see how deep the bedrock is in the area around the Khufu pyramid. And what they found was there's a bottom structure that has multiple rooms in it, in multiple layers, and then there's another structure offset from that has rooms and structures, and then there's another one on top of that you can actually see the roof of through at the ground level. Excuse me.
So yeah, it was multiple layers, and it was bless you.
Allergies.
It was a 20-degree offset from the pyramid. So if the line of the pyramid is here, it was off at 20 degrees to this side. Right. So it wasn't exactly lined up with the pyramid. It was a 20-degree offset.
Yeah.
So, and we're right up Kim's alley again. She's jumping up and down in her living room.
One of the Greek philosophers, I don't remember off the top of my head if it was Herodotus or someone else who had actually went there in the pre-Alexandria period, and he said that he described a labyrinth next to the pyramid. And for years, people were like, "Oh, he was just on shrooms or something." It was, it's not real. But now that they found it, it actually matches the description that he gave.
Yep.
So that's why they think that he was actually telling the truth. And a lot of stuff that he had said, they'd kind of discredited because they never found the labyrinth.
Right. So now we found it.
Right.
Now somebody's got to go in and do it. So that's just our first update.
Right.
So, there's a lot of things. And like I said, we want to talk about, just things that you guys want us to touch on. So if you've got anything that you guys want us to touch on, or, anything that you guys saw as an update, we'll gladly talk about it. Let's get an update on the house. Has there been any activity in the house since we've been there?
No.
Not a single thing.
No, the cameras don't go off at night anymore.
Really?
Yep.
I think we went in there and we just used up all their energy.
I think so too.
So we're gonna have to find a new place to investigate. I think
so too.
So, it's
one thing I wanted to talk about before I forget is that we got our first video deprecated by the YouTube algorithm. The Bermuda Triangle episode.
Yes.
It had 67 or 65 views, and it was trending. And then we got a community guideline added to our video saying that at first it was an endorsement of our video. right?
Right.
And then as the day went on, they changed the endorsement to say that additional context was added, right? And then our 60 views went down to 12.
Really?
Yeah. So they took away 3/4 of our views, and now you can't find that video at all. It's basically just dead.
Well, that's the one that...
Uh-oh. Our live is age restricted.
No, we can't say the D word.
What did we say? Deprecated. They don't.
No, well, we said the DEA, yeah, the unalive word.
Oh.
So we got to watch that. So.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, they're squashing our Bermuda Triangle video.
Well, that's funny because that's the one that actually, was it Wikipedia or who was it?
Yeah.
Wikipedia
Britannica.
actually. Yeah, Britannica picked it up and they saw Britannica saw our video and actually added to our video saying, giving us basically, Britannica was saying, yes, this is the Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
Here's where it's at, blah, blah, blah.
They gave us a citation.
They gave us a citation for it. And then now
took
we're
it
being...
away, and now we have a community guideline statement on there.
That's nuts.
And they took away 3/4 of our views, and now the traffic is down to nothing on that video. And that was
wild.
one of our highest performing videos for its release.
Its life cycle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
So the dirtbags at YouTube squashed it for us.
So, what else do we want to talk about, guys? This Darling Lauren says that she's got something going on in her house that's bugging her son. Yep. So that happens. What do you got going on? I'll gladly read if you don't mind sharing. I'll gladly read to everybody. Just guys, watch what you say because we do not have the 18 plus turned on.
Yeah.
So
probably do now.
It turned it on for us now. That's for sure. But just other updates. So I don't know. So with the eclipse.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of UFO videos with the eclipse, but you also want to take those with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But I did see one that I really liked that looked like a cigar UFO that kind of went by as the eclipse. And one of the things that drove me nuts is all these people saying that the moon was hollow and this and that. And like, I got to be in the path of totality.
Oh.
I got to see it. I got to see it through a telescope. There was an awesome guy there named Clayton, and he had his telescope set up, and I got to see it through his telescope, and it was amazing. And the pictures that I have, if you actually look closely at one of the pictures that I've posted, you can actually see one of the craters of the moon highlighted.
Oh.
And I'll actually, you know what? I will actually...
You want to leave the live?
No, I don't want to leave the live. I will look at that. I will grab that real quick if there's something you want to bring up. I will grab that photo. It is so nutty. That's not it. Where is it?
But we were talking about how there was like this mass hysteria before the eclipse came, and people were talking about lizard people and the end of days, and it was just complete lunacy. And then once the eclipse came and went, everybody just kind of like, oh, I never said any of that stuff. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's this one there, so you can kind of see
a fun
shadowed crater. I'll show it to you guys. You can see like a shadowed moon crater right there on the corner. It's a black dot. It's a shadowed crater. And I'll show it to you guys, and I will also have Bob right there by this, my thumb actually. See, there's like a shadowed moon crater, and I'll send that to Bob, and then Bob can put it up.
Yeah.
But it's just you can see the shadowed crater there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, pretty snifty stuff. So I got to see the full totality of the eclipse. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. where we were, it left a little sliver. Actually, I posted the video on YouTube of me walking around the parking lot looking at it. But the new camera is so good at adjusting light, it just looks like normal daylight outside.
Well, see, and that's the thing is, now mine did, the videos that I posted, you could tell the light was weird.
Yeah.
And there's no better way to describe that than the light was weird.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So... Yeah. I mean, how do you describe the I've got video of the light waves on the ground, right? And I took video of how sharp the shadows got, unbelievably sharp on the ground.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to describe. And then it just, the light dimmed out, street lights were coming on. Yeah. It was beautiful because now you have to remember the pictures I'm showing you are actually upside down because in a telescope it inverts everything. But so what was there is I got to reopen my phone so it doesn't kick me out of the live. So people can join. There we go.
There you go.
All right. So it's so hard to describe. As it came over the top right corner about the 1 or 2 o'clock, that was the very last spot of light that came through.
Right.
And it was nifty because somebody had something that actually counted down counted down to the full totality. And he was playing it on a speaker. And it was, it said, it counted down 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it said totality, glasses off. And you could take your glasses off and look at it. And the way it came down is at the 1 o'clock position, like the shadow came across, and the 1 o'clock position was the last speck of light. The 1 or 2-ish position was the last speck of light. And it got super bright for a second. And that's when you could see the shadows were like super crisp because it like focused the light beams.
Yeah.
It almost made itself a pinhole camera.
Right.
So it got super, super crazy and beautiful. And, I've got pictures. Bob's got a video up about 5 minutes.
On YouTube. Of me
on
just walking
YouTube,
around.
if you guys haven't seen it. But yeah, it was definitely awesome being in the Path of Totality. That's the second one. I got to be in the Path of Totality because it went right through St. Louis in 2017.
Yeah, I saw it right here last time.
So yeah, I was out at a bar. The radio station that I listened to had a big thing at the one bar, so I went out there and we all watched it from there. But it was really an amazing event. And like you said, everybody was like, "Oh, this is going to be the end of the world," and there are people. And so.
And then it happened, and then everyone was like, "Damn it, I didn't get raptured."
Yeah. Hey, well, maybe we didn't.
Right.
Maybe other people did. We didn't.
The rapture happened, and
here we are.
Jesus
still
is like, "Come on, Martha."
Yeah.
What?
Like one person.
Where's everybody going? Not them. Not them. Just you. Just you and me. We're going. The rest of them are all bad.
So we got rabbit holed on the rabbit hole. Something that you told me earlier, the video about the pyramid video that you sent me.
Yeah.
Tell me about the woman. Because you told me about her earlier.
Yeah, the lady is an archaeologist from Britain, I believe, and she is originally was anti-conspiracy theory person. She was all about the history of the pyramids, and then she started going to the pyramids and investigating them personally, and noticed that a lot of the stuff that they had put out doesn't match what is actually there. And then when, like we always talk about with the pyramids, when you look at a 500-ton granite block, and you think, dudes move that. Like how is it possible that a person or people are capable of moving this enormous block of granite? It's impossible, and when you're confronted with it face to face, and you're looking, at a 5-story tall granite block, and you think it's impossible to believe that somebody with a stick and a bunch of logs rolled this thing.
Right.
There's no way it can happen.
Gummy said she's kind of disappointed that the world didn't end. I was ready. I was ready. I was prepared for things to go sideways.
Yeah,
that'd be a long walk home, but I was ready.
Yeah, one way or the other.
If an EMF went off or something, EMF,
the EMP.
Yeah, the EMP pulse went off, took out everything. Yeah.
Well, that was unfortunate.
Yeah, I was ready. Yep. See, now here, Kim's even saying now there's theory that they were moved with vibration,
right?
Which brings us back to another podcast that we did was about frequency and vibration and all that stuff. You know, it brings us back. And in fact, where's your new toy, Bob?
It's upstairs.
Okay, so tell them about what you're creating.
I'm building a resonator that vibrates in the spirit frequency to aid with investigation, so that you can do the 18.9 hertz wave in an actual paranormal environment to try to ramp up, your perception of the paranormal stuff. So you figure when people use a resonator or something that vibrates in that frequency unintentionally, they see spirits and they have the feelings of contact with entities, but they're not in a haunted location. They're in a laboratory, or they're in a basement, or someplace with an air conditioning that's malfunctioning.
Right.
But my theory is, if you take the resonator to a paranormal location and then turn it on, your perception will be elevated, because you will have the spirit frequency and actual paranormal going on at the same time.
So basically, it's to help us see what's there and put our brains into focus.
Yeah.
For that energy.
We already use the static balls and the Tesla coil and other things to amp up the spirit side, but in order to amp up our side of it, if you don't want to do like mushrooms or whatever, this is another way of doing it.
But so, you also came up with the idea of maybe going back into your family home that we've investigated and bring all the things that amp up the energy, and maybe we can recharge, because that's something that we even touched about, that twice on the Ovilus it said it didn't have energy.
Yeah.
Twice on the Ovilus. So that's kind of weird, because we even said there was like kind of no energy when we got there and we were doing the investigation, and now it said I don't have the energy. And we walked in, we even said it's kind of dead feeling in here.
Felt like it calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, we can absolutely bring that energy up maybe. And I see we have new people watching us on the live down here. We have people that, it's our first time joining us, and this isn't kind of our normal setup. This is kind of a rabbit hole episode.
Yeah, we don't have a topic
today. We didn't have a topic today, but we wanted to talk about things that we had seen recently.
Expand on some stuff that we've done in the past, and just kind of give you guys an opportunity to talk to us about things that you're interested in, and maybe we could go down that rabbit hole too.
Yep, for sure. So, we've talked to, the person on here earlier. She said something's bugging her son, and if you want to stick around after the live, we could do that. Oh, you didn't flip the thing on where we can see the comments that are...
I've never turned it on.
Oh, yeah, we need to turn that on so we can see the comments that are
Oh, it's probably some rude stuff.
Well, not necessarily. It will block stupid stuff, believe it or not. It will block. I've seen it block for spelling errors. I've seen it block if somebody, does like more than 3 of the same emoji. Oh. If somebody really likes something, it will block goofy stuff. So we'll have to turn that on so we can actually see every comment. It won't show it, and then it gives us the choice to show it if we want to show it.
Oh.
So, talking TikTok. So it's all good. Another platform. See, it filtered again, but. So hopefully nobody's saying anything goofy.
Right. If that's your content that's getting filtered.
Hey Casey, how you doing?
Then just change what you're saying.
Yeah.
And
adjust
redo it. Yeah. Just try to dodge the algorithm.
So what else? What else did we see here recently? I'm trying to jog my memory of things that we've gone back. Man. Hey guys, we're close to 5K on the live. If you guys wouldn't mind tapping a little more, get us up to 5K. That'll push us out to the FYP again. The more the merrier, gets us out there. What else have we... Oh, I got one for you. All right, so you know that I have been having issues off and on in my house, and so the other night I woke up at like 3 in the morning because it seems that's like, for some reason I wake up at 3 in the morning every night. I get up, I go to the bathroom, but it's always 3. Like, I don't understand why it's always 3.
The devil's hour.
So I got up, went to the bathroom, laid back in bed, started scrolling a little bit, right? And I heard a boom, loud bang, kind of sounded like had a springy kind of thing at the end or whatever. And I jumped up, my cat jumped up. We're both like looking out into the rest of my apartment. And I'm like, what the hell was that? So I got up and I started looking around, and I couldn't find anything. Now, this was Wednesday night.
Okay.
So on Friday, I went to do a load of laundry. My laundry detergent was in my washing machine, my bottle of laundry detergent. Now, the weird thing about it is I use the lay down bottles of laundry detergent.
Right.
So it's not like high center of gravity, it's down low. You know, I'm talking about the fatter ones that you know, okay. And the shelf that the laundry detergent sits on is angled towards the wall. Right. Meaning I can set it way up at the front and it literally will slide back until it touches the wall. So that bottle came uphill and fell into the washing machine.
Wow.
So, and I even went, once I found it, I'm like, holy crap, that's what it was. And then I took video or I was showing someone that it was sliding, that it slides back. If you set that thing on there, it slides back. Unless you set it at the very, very edge, and then it doesn't go anywhere. But I'm not going to set it at the very edge because I don't want it to fall.
Right.
So, like, and it's one of them taps, so I usually don't even pull it forward because it's long enough that the tap just sticks over the shelf. Yeah. And, you know, I press the button and, you know, the laundry detergent comes out. So whatever happened, that one bottle, there's 2 bottles up there, and the toilet paper is right next to it, and, like, literally, but that one bottle came away from the wall and fell down into my washing machine. Uphill. And I have no explanation for it.
That's weird that you say that, because the other night we were watching TV upstairs and I heard a loud crash and I thought it was the wind blowing the building down next door. They'd started building the structure next door and it had no roof on it.
Yeah, it's a shack.
So, yeah, I thought the wind had blown it over. And the next day, Angie come down here and it was my drone case had been thrown across the room. That's what it was.
That's wild.
That little orange briefcase was laying in the middle of the floor over there. And it was loud. Whatever. It was a couple of bangs. It was like pow 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 pow. I'm like,
what the hell was that? What day was that?
Thursday, I think.
So yeah, so mine happened Wednesday. That's wild. That is really wild.
But I mean, that drone case is just sitting on the concrete floor. It's flat where it sits at. Yeah. So it couldn't.
Yeah. How the hell did it end up? I'll hold on. I'll grab the case so you guys can see it. I mean, it's light. I won't say it's light. It's 10 pounds, 15 pounds. Maybe. And, you know, it's flat on the bottom there, you know, where the feet sit.
It's got dog hairs on it.
Yep, that's okay. But you guys can see it sits flat. Yeah. You know, and it ended up
across the floor for some reason. I don't know how or why that happened, but
we're pissing things off, Bob.
Coming in. Well, when we first moved into this house, all we had moved over was like the bed and like stuff to stay here. Right. And we used to hear the sound of like boxes being kicked around in the basement. And at that time, there was nothing at all in the basement. It sounded like somebody was just down here kicking boxes, like they were angry and they were kicking boxes around. It's exactly what it sounded like. And it happened every single night that we stayed here. Huh. And then eventually it kind of tapered off. But we still occasionally hear that sound in here. There was a guy who unalived himself in the back stairwell over there before, years and years before it was in the late 90s. Long time before we moved in here. But we still get a weird things happening here. We smell really strong cigarette smoke. Yeah. You know, and we hear like moving around, and you'll hear the floorboards creak in this old house really, really bad, and you can hear like right.
Yeah, because you've got some rafters here, floor joists here that have been like sistered because you had some bad floor joists, and you can see above us that the wood is like older.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, you can hear like.
So you definitely, it's one of them situations where you could hear something if somebody walks across it for sure. So. Tell him to go to the light.
Go into
spirit attachment.
Go into the light, Carolyn.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing is like, it's funny how like the stuff at my apartment will like happen, and then stop.
Yeah.
And then something happens, and then nothing, and then 2 months later, something happens again, or a month later, something happens again. It's like, I don't know if it's like trying to build energy or what, but like, yeah, I can't explain that whole detergent bottle thing because it literally went uphill.
Yeah, I don't know how the drone case flopped around down here.
I wonder if maybe yours happened on Wednesday.
It might have been Wednesday. What day was it stormy?
The windy?
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Was it?
It was Wednesday. Okay. Yeah. That's kind of odd that it happened to both of us on Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild.
That's when it happened. It was because we thought the wind had blown that building down next door.
Right. So what else do we got to cover? Anything that jumps out at you?
Oh, I was watching the Dr. Greer. You know, if you guys know, the Dr. Greer is like the big disclosure UFO guy. He's been talking about how he's actually working like the political channels to get disclosure to happen instead of trying to like shame them into doing it.
Right.
And he had a conference the other day where there was a former Army Ranger, and the Army Ranger guy's father was a government contractor, and he had seen in some black site, I forgot where he was talking. He named all the names because he doesn't care anymore. He's like, if they're going to kill me, they're going to kill me. So he said that he went into a room where they had a large bus-sized granite block hovering because of some device that was attached to the top of it.
Really?
Yeah. And you can look up Dr. Stephen Greer on YouTube and find the video of it. If I find it, I'll put a picture up here.
Nice.
But he drew a sketch of it, and he said that he went in there, and the guys, whatever they are, the Delta Force people that guard that stuff, told him, like, when you go through here, we have to go through a room where you're not clear to see anything. So just look at the guy's boots in front of you and just keep moving through the room, and then we'll go to the other thing. And he said he got about halfway through the room and stopped to tie his bootlace, and looked over at it to see, and then he got back up and left, and then he was describing it. And basically the government ruined his father's life.
Right.
His dad was a government contractor, and he was basically a quiet millionaire.
Wow.
And now he's basically homeless. He's passed away now, but they basically took everything away from him.
Wow. Seeing you got people coming in following.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's what the Dr. Greer is one of my like go-to people for UFO stuff because he has no shame, and he has no one owns him.
Right.
Like he is a millionaire former ER surgeon who went down the rabbit hole and just kind of stayed in the rabbit hole. So now he does UFO stuff in full time. I mean, he's not a doctor anymore. He's not a practicing doctor anymore, but he just does UFO disclosure stuff.
Right. And that's the thing that you and I have talked about. It's like, if you don't at least believe in one of these theories, then you are living under a rock.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta believe in at least one of these conspiracy theories. Because if you think the government is telling us everything, come on now.
Which government? Is what I always say. That people always say, well, the government would tell you, like, which government?
Yeah, like the real government or the shadow government?
That really runs everything, or the people you voted for?
Right.
Right. Which government is it that you think that's going to look out for your best interests?
Oh, man. Sore. Don't mind me.
Yeah, he is. If you ever wanted to look up some stuff, go down the Dr. Stephen Greer rabbit hole, and he is on the ball with all of the UFO stuff. He could tell you, and he's one of those people, like I say, he's not in anyone's pocket. So he doesn't care if he offends senators or congressmen or whatever. He'll name names. He'll tell you, like, at this base on this day, they had a captured downed aircraft that this company was paid to down in New Mexico. They shipped it to this hangar, and this doctor and this physicist were there, and they studied it, and everybody's like, you're not supposed to know any of this stuff. He's like, I do not care. Like, you have no right to hide the things from the people that are paying for it.
Yes.
Right? That's the thing. Like, you people out there that are, in America and pay your taxes, you own UFOs. You paid for the government to build UFOs from the technology that they got from downing UFO re-engineered aircraft.
And the bad thing is they're not. There's probably technology out there currently that they got from UFOs that would make the world an amazing place.
Oh, yeah.
But people are so greedy,
right,
that they're not going to put it out there because there's too many people making money on the status quo.
Right, exactly.
So,
and infrastructure. That's like we talked about with Tesla when we did the Tesla video. We were talking about how the first question that Edison asked when they were talking about Tesla's power transmission versus his, AC
right.
versus DC. The first thing that he asked was, how do you put a meter on it? And Tesla was like, you can't. It's free energy for everybody. It would benefit. Right. It would benefit humanity. And he was like, but how do you put a meter on it?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
How do you charge people for it?
And that Tesla was so disgusted by that he just went into his lab for like a week and wouldn't even talk to anybody. He's like, I can't wrap my mind around a human that would hold humanity back intentionally because of money.
Yep.
And now we look at that and you go, well, sweet little nugget.
Yeah.
That is the majority now.
That is the status quo.
Like, it's not just you versus him. It's you versus all of them. Like the Standard Oil scumbags, all of that. They've consolidated so much wealth into so few people that 5 people decide what 1 billion people can do with their life.
Right.
Because they won't give up. When you have a stack of $1 billion, the only thing you can think of is, well, how can I make another stack of $1 billion?
Like, because that's more money. Like, and I even thought about this. So if you won the lottery that was currently going on, you would walk with $600 million. And did we talk about this? I missed winning that lottery by 2 digits. Did you know that?
No.
So guys, I missed winning the lottery by 2 digits. Like the big $1.2 billion by 2 digits. I had 3 numbers and the Powerball.
Wow. What do you get for that?
$100. So, I was so close that the first number was 11 and I had 21. The other number that I missed was 62. I had 63. So, I literally missed winning the lottery by 2 digits of 1 number off. So I was that close. And I have it in my car. If you want, I'll show it to you. I saved it in my car with the winning numbers.
Did you see the shenanigans that went on with the last Powerball drawing?
No.
So there's a guy who works at a convenience store, and every morning when the Powerball comes out, he prints out the receipt that says who's the winner. So that way he can put it in this little window there, in the convenience store, and that way people don't ask him over and over again who won,
Yeah, how many winners there were.
Right. So when it came out, there was 1 winner, and he printed out the receipt at like 6 a.m. or 4 a.m. or whatever when he comes into work, and then put it in the window. So then someone asked him, and they were like, no, I thought I heard multiple people won. So he's like, okay. He got in this little system and checked, and oh, look, there's 4 people that won.
Huh.
So then he printed out that receipt and then stuck it in the window. So then, as the day went on, they said, oh no, there's only 1 Powerball winner.
Huh.
And it's a person in California, whereas the other winners that it said it had weren't in California.
So now there's
Oregon.
Oregon. I was going to say, don't say California again, because then we'll know it's rigged.
It is. It has to be rigged, because he has the receipts to prove that it's rigged.
Yeah.
Because it said there was 1 winner, and they were like in a totally different state. Then there was 4 winners. Then there was 2 winners, and then now there's 1 winner. So basically, what it is they pick a person, because they don't have to tell you who won.
Right.
They pick a person to be the receptacle of that money, and then that money gets dumped into that receptacle, and then they spend it in. It's all an inside scam, right? They just take that money and put it back into their pockets, and they say, "Oh well, James Pinkerton won it from Oregon." They're like, "Well, who is that?" It's undisclosed for his privacy.
Right.
Shut up, dude. You just took $1 billion and committed the world's largest obvious fraud in front of the entire planet. And when people are like, what is this? Then now you get your fellow people who lost the lottery telling you that you're an idiot because you can't read a receipt that someone printed out in the store. You know, like, oh, it's fake. Like, it's not fake. He has the receipt from the lottery machine that said 4 people won it. And those 4 people weren't in Oregon.
Yeah, because I thought it was like Utah or somebody,
Right.
something that they originally said.
So
nah. Rabbit holes. Yay, rabbit holes.
I'm done with the lottery. The lottery is a scam. The Powerball is a ripoff. Don't give them a penny of your money. Don't. It's all a scam. It's all a ripoff.
Yay, we're rabbit holes today.
Right.
We're just down some stuff.
We were talking about soulless people, and we started with Edison. So that's how we got to here. Because we were talking about captured alien technology.
Right.
And through reverse engineering of alien technology, they have the helium arc reactor, the arc light reactor that's like the size of your soda can, and it never needs to be re-energized.
Right. Yeah.
So you could take that container, put it into a car, build the car around it, drive it for 80 years, and then take it to the scrapyard and scrap the entire car, including the reactor. Because once the reactor is depleted, it's inert.
Huh.
We could have that right now. You could have a Tesla that never needs to be charged. Because it can have the helium arc reactor in it, built into it, that you can't tamper with, and you can't make it go atomic or anything. Because once you discharge the helium reactor, it just turns back into gas. That exists this minute, and we can't have it because of oil.
Oil, yeah, the oil companies.
All of the...
Well, that's like everybody who's ever invented like a super efficient engine that runs on something other than petroleum-based products.
Right.
They disappear.
Yeah.
And all their information disappears.
Yep.
So everybody's like, oh, they were faking or whatever. Like, all these people just vanish. So it's like, okay.
One of the biggest tragedies of that, if you ever want to go down another rabbit hole, is
that's where we're living today, is the rabbit holes. We're just running through the tunnels.
This dude had a contract with GM, and GM was developing the EV1 electric car. And parallel to that was this guy in his own private laboratory. He made a ceramic investment cast motor. There's a 3-cylinder hydrogen engine. And basically what you do, if you don't know what investment casting is, you take a styrofoam block that's shaped like an engine,
right,
and you put it into sand, and then you inject the superheated ceramic into it.
Yep.
And as the ceramic goes into it, it melts the foam out, but the sand is still in the shape of it.
Right.
So you don't have to machine anything. It just it casts it.
Right.
And then you take that casting, which is ceramic, and then hone the cylinders in it, and then you use, aluminum rotating assemblies so it never wears, right? This 3-cylinder engine running on hydrogen that comes from water, you would pour water into the tank, and then it uses electrolysis to make its own hydrogen in the car. The thing got like 112 miles to the gallon.
Of water.
Of
water, not gas. 112 miles a gallon of water.
And people always say, well, that's all in theory. No. That car that he made is in the movie Demolition Man.
Really?
It's the police car in Demolition Man. So how far down production were they? There were enough of them that they used them as police cars in Demolition Man. But he mysteriously came up with encephalitis.
Oh, really?
And just fell over dead one day.
Oh.
He was like, hey, I made this car that gets 112 miles a gallon, and it runs on water. And it's sustainable. It's all fiberglass. It's all ceramic. It has very little metals in it. So, the crumple zones and everything are inherent in it because the car is made out of fiberglass, And then somehow, through some sort of witchcraft, he just fell over dead.
Well, that's like the other guy who made a water engine who went out to dinner and took a bite and said what they killed me, and fell over dead at the table.
Right.
Right. He knew they were gunning for him.
Because he had done research on rice and how the government does that poisoning, and he knew as soon as he tasted it, he knew what it was.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I've been poisoned. They got me.
Well, that's the thing. He probably tastes almonds.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Is cyanide tastes and smells like almonds.
No, they use ricin pellets.
Oh, ricin.
Radioactive. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well.
So that way, even if you get like an antidote, it can't save you.
Yeah.
Because once the cascading radiation gets a hold of your organs, you just turn into goo.
So we've been down some rabbit holes today.
Yeah, it's awful. It's awful what they do. But this parallel story of that is the EV1, the electric car that GM made, and they test marketed it in Phoenix. It was fantastic, and everybody who got one loved it. So GM was like, well, our overhead cam 4-cylinders are starting to get, 28, 30 mile per gallon. We'll just go that way because it's still a gas engine.
Well, I'm sure they're getting off that somebody along the lines said, hey, if you guys don't switch to electric, we'll give you a cut of this, know, because even though the economy's in the crapper, the fossil fuel industry, the petroleum industry, are still making $1 billion a year, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're not hurting. They're not hurting at all.
Not at all.
And here's something, speaking of, we're going down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed, I don't know, you're over on this side, so you don't notice, probably, but I've noticed the gas price is locked right now.
Yeah.
Gas price has been the exact same price for almost a month now. And I know that gas prices fluctuate up and down.
Yeah.
But where I get gas and around my house has been $3.47 a gallon for weeks.
Because
it hasn't changed.
They're depleting the strategic reserve to fill that, so that way the price stays level, because they don't want people to freak out with $8 a gallon gas.
Right. Well, that's the thing, though, is they just started re-drilling on American soil.
Right.
But we'll see what happens.
They finally started selling oil leases again.
Yeah.
Even though they said that they weren't going to. Yeah. That's a scumbag thing, too. But
welcome to the freak show.
But what it comes down to is like a car, like your average gasoline car. Mm-hmm. If you took it apart, it's like, 8,000 something pieces?
Right.
Valves and springs and screws. If you took a Tesla apart, it's only like 400 pieces. Because the motor is only like 4 parts. Mm-hmm. Whereas a motor on a gasoline car is thousands of parts. So when you look at the brass tacks of it, how much manufacturing has to be done to make a gasoline car versus an electric car? Because an electric car has far fewer components.
The only problem is the electric car, our current power grid can't handle all the electric cars.
Right. Oh, yeah, without doubt.
But here's the funny thing is, you guys realize that they make our cars not to last longer. Why is it that I can buy a Toyota and get 250,000 miles out of it just by changing the oil, but if I drive an American car, it's ready to fall apart at 120, 150,000 miles, right?
Right, exactly.
You get 250,000 miles out of something coming from the other side of the world. It's because they want your car to fall apart.
So you have to buy
you to buy a new car. And believe it or not, the money is not in the buying of the cars. The money is in the repairing of the cars.
Yeah.
The car dealerships don't make what you think they make selling cars. They make the money off the shop.
Yeah.
That's where car dealerships make their money.
Without a doubt.
Because they charge $100 and something an hour. You think them guys make $100 something an hour? No, them guys are lucky if they're making $30 an hour, right, for labor.
Right.
Lucky if they're making $30 an hour for labor, but they're going to charge you $190 an hour or some. Some of them start like $90 or $100 an hour, $120 an hour for labor. But then the parts, which they're getting the parts at wholesale, and then selling to you at retail. Right? So they're not making money off the selling of cars. They literally have made, here's a good example. You have a $65 part, right? And the book says that it takes 2 hours to replace that part. Now let's say you're paying, let's just round it nice and neat and pretty. So let's just say it's a $50 part, and you're paying $100 an hour for labor. They open a book, and the book says it should take 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, so now you're paying, that's $250, right? Your mechanic who's making $30 an hour, and they paid, $10 for that part because they got it wholesale. Mm-hmm. So he comes in and he does it in 45 minutes because he knows what he's doing.
Right.
Well, guess how much money they just freaking made?
Oh, yeah.
And he gets $30 an hour. We'll say it takes him an hour, and your $10 part. So now it literally costs them $40 to fix your car, but they charge you $250. Now, guess what, though? Technically, you're still paying for those 2 hours, but now they've got another car in that bay working on that car.
Right. So it overlaps.
It overlaps.
Yeah.
So they are making money hand over fist out of the shop.
Yeah.
And that is programmed into our cars.
Right.
They are meant to break down. They are not meant to last.
Yeah.
And that's just the way that it works. That we could have such better stuff.
Yeah.
But it's meant to break down because people are greedy.
Yep, greedy people. Exactly. Well, I read a study one time that the Bureau of Labor and Statistics broke down like how much manufacturing costs, and they said that it costs like $11,000 to make a Silverado. Like GM,
and that's like a $70,000 truck.
GM is out of pocket $11,000 to make the Silverado.
That's a $70,000.
They turn around and sell it for $70,000
or more, depending on your option package. So.
But it costs them that much money because when you buy an alternator, right? It costs you $150.
Right.
GM buys a freight train of alternators.
Yeah.
So it costs them like 4 cents.
Yeah.
Because they're buying them in bulk, right?
Yep.
And then the sick part of it is, here's what gets you. Delco doesn't exist, right? Delco isn't a thing. It's a brand. Like it's a label. It's not a company. So when GM uses alternators and then they're done building that car, or another car doesn't use that alternator, all that new old stock is rebranded and then sent out to AutoZone or Pep Boys or whatever.
Which is the same thing as Temu.
Yeah. Right.
So we're running down all kinds of rabbit holes.
That's a whole other rabbit hole. I can tell you about why I stopped buying Nikes.
So Temu, say you create a new product, right? You have to run so many of those products to make sure it's right.
Right.
Once they determine, this is a decent product, they'll run another 100, 150, 200,000 of them to make sure that the product is good. And that's what they get on Temu. Right. And then say somebody orders 500 of this, they may run an extra 100. That's what's on Temu. Right.
Or if the contract is for 1,000 units and to build up and then trail off, you had another 1,000 units, 500. Then anyway, that stuff all goes on Temu. Yep. Right. So or not just Temu, but AliExpress and all that stuff.
Wish, all that stuff. Right. So.
But the thing about Nike, this is what got me. So there's a factory in Vietnam, right? And they make Nike shoes. Uh-huh. Okay? So let's say they get a contract for 80,000 Air Jordans. This one facility, they build all of those Air Jordans, right? Ship them off. Nike's happy. They're like, okay, you can destroy all your stuff now. And they're like, cool, we'll do that. They ship in their own leather and rubber at that factory and continue making Jordans. So people always say, well, those knockoffs are not as good as the real ones. Like, you're a pawn
literally
in a game.
Are
They're
the real
made
ones.
by the same people on the same machine that made the real ones. They also make the knockoffs until the machines are just destroyed from doing it, and then they just throw it in the trash and they go, yeah, we destroyed all these machines. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, we destroyed them making all the knockoffs that then cost all of you the money on the back end. And Nike as a company, which is a lot like other companies, Nike and Under Armour and Patagonia and all these companies, they don't make anything. There's no factory. Right. They are a licensing company. So Nike sells the little swoosh to people who then make shoes
Right.
or make jackets or make anything else.
And they don't sell the swoosh; they sell the rights to use the
Right,
swoosh.
that's what I'm saying. They sell you
yeah.
the license for
Yeah.
it, and then the company.
Oh, and they don't sell it; they lease it.
They're
They lease it. So when the lease is up, if you want to continue to make Nikes,
Right.
you have to release the swoosh.
Exactly.
So
like if you're a company that makes like shoes for like a gas station or whatever,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Those
Yeah.
junk shoes that you see like at the grocery store or whatever. That company that makes that also leases a license from Nike to make hiking boots and other stuff. And then when their contract's over, they just take the little swoosh part off
Yes.
and then put a zigzag on it or whatever and keep making that same product.
So here's another one. You guys are going to love this one. 90% of all eyeglasses and sunglasses are made and owned by the same company.
Yeah.
That company also runs a majority of the eye insurance business.
Right.
So they're literally getting paid to pay themselves for you to have glasses.
Yep.
And what kills me now is, you remember Ray-Bans used to be just a cheap, buy them at Walmart glasses,
Yeah.
and now they're these like amazing, expensive
Right.
things.
It's
And they
boutique.
used to be
Yeah.
like, that was the cheap brand that you bought at Walmart.
Right.
You
Well, that
know,
was
10 years
because
ago.
people wanted the like Ray-Ban glasses, but they didn't want to have to spend a bunch of money. So if you were out on your boat or whatever, and your glasses fell in the ocean, you're like,
They're just Ray-Bans.
well,
Go get a
I'll
new
just
pair.
Go get a new pair, right? Now they're like $200-$300 a frame. You'd cry your eyes out if they fell in the ocean. You know,
That's ridiculous.
but
So-
that's why people used to wear them back then. You know, the yacht masters and the wayfarers.
Yeah,
you know,
because they were cheap.
if it slid off the boat, you're like, oh man.
Oh, well,
gotta
I'll just
to
go get
Walmart.
another. Yeah, go to Walmart and get another pair. Oh, okay. I think we've been down enough rabbit holes for today. We definitely got way out of the paranormal pocket.
Yeah, we could talk about the dirtbag government.
Conspiracy theories. You know, we've always told you guys we're all over the board on everything. So, you know, thank you again for joining us. We went almost a good 45 minutes just walking down rabbit holes here. We jumped in and just walked through every tunnel we saw.
Yeah.
So, you know, thanks for watching us. You know, we appreciate you guys checking out the content. You know, we have a Patreon. We have, we're on TikTok and YouTube and
Odyssey, Spotify.
We're all over the place now, and we appreciate you guys checking it all out. It's all under the Veritas Project.
Yep.
And if you want to check out some of Robert's other social medias, RS Curtis or the Veritas Project,
Instagram and all that stuff.
mine's all Investigator Todd. And thank you for joining us on our Random Rabbit Hole podcast this week. We didn't have anything specific that caught our attention we want to talk about. And we hope you guys enjoyed it. And remember,
stay curious
and find the truth, and we will catch you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
See ya.